Is this thing on? Hey guys, what's up? It's your wife and love Lola, and welcome to my channel. Hey guys, guess what I've got? I'll tell you. I have got the dopest bag to make today in this tutorial. You are about to make the dopest bag. Get excited like me. If you're not excited, then you don't need to be here, okay? Because this bag is it, honey. This bag is so cute. It's so dope. It's gonna make you feel like that. All of that. Today, I am so excited to be doing this tutorial for you on the Ceyhla by SewingArtZ. When I saw it, I just was like, I need that bag. I just want to say congratulations to YAMATA on this pattern. It is just such a great pattern. I know it's going to be so successful. Yeah, I saw that she was looking for some testers, and I was like, please pick me. Please, let me make your bag. And I am just so grateful that she allowed me to be a tester for her, and that she also allowed me to do a tutorial. Like, I am so pumped. In case you can't tell, I'm so excited. But anyway, yeah, so I made this bag for me. I took it to my mom's because she has a really nice flower garden, and I knew I can get some good pictures with it. I can get some good pictures of the bag in the garden. And see? Pretty, right? My mom loved the bag. She just kept going on and on about how much she loved this bag. And I was like, yeah, me too, Mom, because I made it for me. That's why I did it. I love it too. We love this bag. That's cool. But long story short, I did not leave my mom's house with that bag. I feel some type of way, in case you can't tell. I was angry. I mean, but she's my mom, so it's cool, whatever. You know, take my bag. Do that. You have like 80 bags. My mom is like a purse. They're in closets. They're in rooms. They're set up on display. It's out of control, Mom. Mom, if you're watching this, it's out of control. But anyway, I let her have it. You know, it's cool. I didn't let her have it. She paid me for it. Thanks, Mommy. But anyway, so then I was like, oh, this is going to suck because now I don't have my bag for my intro to the tutorial. But I was like, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to just take some videos and splash them in there, here and there. But then 2 nights ago, while I was editing this video, I get to a part in the middle and realize that I accidentally did not push record. All my tutorial makers out there, you get it. I'm pretty sure everyone has done it. Yeah. Well, so now I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I know what I have to do. I have to make another bag so that I can record that step. Ah! But anyway, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a blessing in disguise, because I really, really did want this bag, you know, because I was never gonna make it again. The moment had passed. I have so many orders. I just don't have time to be making stuff for myself. But I was like, but I have to make it for the tutorial. So, you know, I guess I have to make myself a bag. So once again, I just took my time with it. I picked out the colors that speak to me. And again, I didn't think I would ever be as happy with the bag as I was with the first one, but I love the second one just as much. So it's because this pattern is just so dope. Now let's get into this bag, guys. Let's get into it. Are you ready? Y'all, how dope is this bag? This bag, as you can see, is a pretty decent size. Back up so you can see. Yeah, it's a nice size. It has this flap that goes over the top. And it's also the kind that snaps on the side. So I thought that was really cool, the way that she added a snap there. So you can make it larger if you like. That's it unsnapped. It comes with a zipper compartment on the front of the bag and on the back. And then there is a zipper inside, as well as a slip pocket. And the pattern includes these cute little snaps that you can use. Let me turn the camera down a little bit. All right, there we go. Okay, it has these cute snaps that you can put on the bag when you have it open. Wait. Get it together, Ray. All right. How cute is that? You can let it hang off the side if you like. However you want to do it. I think that is just so cool. How freaking adorable is that? Take these off if you like. You can place them around your straps to hold them in place, or, you know, just whatever you want to do with it. You can just stick it in your bag if you don't want to have it on your straps. It just gives you a lot of options. So how cool is that? This bag is it, honey, and you're about to make it. Because we're cool. We're bag makers. We make shit. Like, how cool is that? That shit is dope. Don't forget how dope you are. You are a dope bitch. You make with your hand. That is so cute. Where did you get that? I made it! I made it! That's where I got it. All right, are you... I don't even know what to say. If you're not excited like this, then you need to get excited. I don't know, or just let me be excited for you. Better let them know, honey. Okay, we don't play over here. We make stuff. We make stuff. That's what we do with our free time. We create things. We are creators. Okay? Okay, I'm done. You guys ready to make a bag? I'm tired. I'm tired and I'm hungry and it's making me delirious. And I may have had a shot. So, you know, all of those things combined, this is what you get. As usual, you can find a link to the pattern down below in the description box. I'll also have a link to the materials that I used. There's a timestamp for you so you can get straight to where you need to go. And I do have a breakdown of the cost of the bag to let you know what I spent to make a bag like this. So yeah, let's get started. So excited, so excited. The thing we're gonna do is the interfacing. I've cut out all of my pieces and I've cut out the interfacing that I'm gonna be using. I'm also going to be using Peltex 70. So for every exterior piece, I have interfacing that I'm going to be fusing to it. But then on the flap, I also cut out a piece of the Pelon to give it a little bit of stabilizing. The way that I'm going to do this is I place my stabilizer centered, and I've cut it, as you can see, shorter than the rest of the piece. And then I'm going to cover that with my interfacing, which is also slightly shorter than my exterior piece. And then I'm just going to fuse it. The other flap, the other side of the flap, I'm not going to put the stabilizer. It's just going to be a piece of interfacing. Also on the bottom, I did the same thing. The bottom is going to have a little bit of stabilizer, and I'm going to lay my interfacing over it and fuse it. My straps are a little bit different from the directions. It's basically the technique. If you check out Lavender and Twine on their site for their patterns, they have 3 different ways to do straps, and this is one of the ways. I think it's called a trifold, but it's a free pattern for you guys if you want to check that out. The only difference, what I'm doing, is that I'm going to leave the edge of my outer strap exposed. Usually you bend it over twice. I'm just going to leave it exposed. So right now I've cut strips, and I'm going to go ahead and interface my my strips for my handle while I do all the other interfacing for my bag. All right, here we go. Okay, so there are quite a few of the lining pieces. So what I did is I just went in the corner and wrote out the sizes just so I don't want to get it mixed up. That's something I would do. Just a suggestion. Okay, I'm going to get started with my straps. I have placed double-sided tape on the back of my outer strap piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach my piece that goes in the middle. Okay guys, so let's grab our front panel. As you can see, I've put some double-sided tape along the top and the bottom of this cutout for the zipper. I'm going to remove the top layer. Okay, and now we're going to take our one of our zipper cutouts and we're going to place it right over that cutout, making sure that you line it up so that none of this main panel is showing underneath. Once you've got that on, as you can see, I've already used the pattern to get my holes poked into this part because I just think it will help me line it up better. So I've gone ahead and poked those holes. I'm going to grab my rectangular shaped hardware and I'm going to place it there, and then I'm going to bend it under and I'm going to line up those holes that I made earlier. There we go. I'm going to pull up against this a little bit and then get a crease, making sure that those holes stay lined up. There you go, baby. Bam. And then I am going, perfect, to clamp this. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, now we're going to head over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew the strap suspension in place. So you can start below this square ring if you'd like, below the ring above that first hole. Make sure that you back stitch a couple of times at the beginning and at the end. And we're just going to sew around the entire thing. Take your time. We want this to be really pretty. And we're going to sew it about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Okay. Okay, now if you like, you can go ahead and add a few more strips of double-sided tape around this handle area or anywhere that you feel like you need to keep it more secure in place. I'm going to add a few more pieces, probably just right around here, just so I can feel confident that it's not going to shift while I'm sewing it. This is my phone deciding not to focus. Okay, so now I'm just going to punch through those holes that I made earlier, so that now the hole is going to be going through the front panel as well. Now we're just going to get our rivets in. Okay, so this is what we're working with right now. Yo, look at that. That is dope. I love the way she did that. Okay, so we're going to work on our zippers, our zipper pockets. So I'm going to start off with the bigger pocket. This is the, when you round it, this is the 8x10. I'm just going to mark this really quick so that I know that I need my zipper to be about right. So we're going to place our zipper right side up on our lining that is also right side up. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this at the machine. And I'm going to sew it as close as I can to the edge, because later we're going to be putting it underneath here, and I don't want to risk the thread from this showing. So I'm going to just sew as close as I can to get them attached. This is the piece that we just did. We're going to take it, grab it by the zipper, and just rotate it so that the zipper is still right side facing up. And now we're going to place it on the top of the other lining. We're going to sew this as close as we can to the top edge. Now our zipper is facing right side up. I went ahead and added some double-sided tape right along the edge of the zipper. I'm going to get that on. Okay, so here's a quick tip that I picked up from Jess Oakleroots. When you're laying this piece open, before you put the exterior piece over it, if you're having a hard time getting the edges of your zipper to lay down, then just press them down and add a seam attaching it, the top of the zipper, to the lining piece. And that way the zipper won't be moving around on you. It'll stay completely flat. All right, and we are going to place this right on top, making sure that it is centered. Also, I want to say, I usually sew with nylon zippers, but for this bag I wanted to use metal ones. And I don't know if it's because it's metal or what, but I was having a little bit of issue when I zip it back up. Right, see that? And I don't like that. It makes me nervous. And I feel like it's because it's so tight. That's the only thing I can come up with. I may be wrong. So for my other piece, I went ahead and trimmed my zipper facing piece to make it a little bit bigger, just so that I'm hoping it won't make the zipper be as squished and I won't have as much of an issue with it not wanting to pull back. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, now we're going to go to the machine and we're only going to sew along the bottom, the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, okay? Only on the bottom. Okay, so I just finished sewing right along the bottom of the zipper. We're going to flip it over. And we're just going to take the top piece and bring it down to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and trim mine down because I used the wrong size. Okay, and pin. Turn it back over. And now we're going to start right here and stitch around the remainder of the zipper. We're going to go up, long way, and back down. Okay, let's work on the flap. I don't want to have my edges exposed, so I'm going to use a technique where you place them right sides together, clamp it all the way around, and sew it at about 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, so I'm going to sew all the way around, but I'm going to leave a little area open for me to turn it. I'll leave it about right here to right here to turn it through. Right here, you can either install a snap closure or a turn lock, whichever you prefer. Just follow the instructions for installation. Once you've sewn your flap and turned it out, go ahead and measure up centered and about 1 inch. Make your marks and go ahead and get your lock installed. Once that's done, you're going to go ahead and the piece that you left open, just tuck both sides in and clamp it really nice, and then clamp all the way around so that we can get ready to top stitch it. Okay, once you've got the top part of your turn lock on, we're going to flip it over, and we're just going to place some double-sided tape along the underside, the top edge. Okay? So this is the outer side of our flap. You're going to flip it over, and on the top, put double-sided tape. Once you get that done, you're going to measure 1.9 inches down from the straight part of the flap. So right where those curves start, from there to where you mark, you want to do 1.9 inches. So I went ahead and marked on my flap that position. Now we are going to grab our back panel. And we're going to place this flap right there centered at about 1/4 of an inch above where the top of this cool little panel is. So I'm going to just kind of eyeball the center and eyeball 1/4 inch. If you want to use a ruler, you can. Bam. All right, and then just check it out and make sure you've got it centered. Oops, and it moved around on me. Okay, so what we're going to do now is basically at that mark that we just made, we're going to sew right on top of the seam that we already have from our flap. You can't see mine because it's black, but the seam that we already have going around, we're going to sew right on top of that, starting at that mark. Make sure you back stitch a couple of times. If you don't want to back stitch, then leave the thread long and pull it through the back and tie it. But anyway, we're going to sew right on top of that seam all the way back to the other side. Once we get here, we're going to turn a 90-degree angle. We're going to make 2 stitches, and then we're going to turn a 90 angle again and just go right back to the beginning, doing the 2 stitches to the side and top stitching. And we are sewing through the flap and the main panel. I did add another piece of double-sided tape underneath here just to help things not move around too much. Okay, so once we have that sewn onto the panel, go ahead and put a hole right underneath where you where that seam turns to the side on both sides. After you've got your holes in, let's go ahead and get our rivets added. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get our side panels connected. So you should have them like this, where the side with the biggest kind of angle is going to be going towards the panel. Make sure you don't do this. Because as you can see by those marks, that's what I did with my goofy ass. So it should be like this, obviously. Duh. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so you're just gonna go ahead and line the sides up. Pin it, and then we're gonna sew it at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, once we've got that added, we're just going to push this out. And when you do that, make sure that your seam is going behind the side piece. And then we are going to just top stitch right along that at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. At one of your panels, and we are going to measure down from the top about 2 inches. And from the side, we're going to go over about 1 7/8 inch. Okay. So there's 1 7/8. There we go, 1 7/8 inch. And down 2 inches. So right here. And we're going to make a mark right here for our snap. All right, guys, for this next step, we're going to be installing snap fasteners. Now, if you're nervous, you're saying, Rayvon, I have never done this. Guess what? Neither have I. This is my first time installing these snaps. I've been practicing on a scrap piece of paper. So if it's your first time, I recommend you do the same. Just get some pieces of fabric and follow the directions that came with your kit. I got this kit off of Amazon. It's got a few different options. I'm going to go with the black. I'll put a link down below for you guys. But yeah, just practice for a little bit. I feel comfortable now, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I know it can be stressful doing new techniques, but you know what? I get stressed out about it, but I love it because now I have this down. And if I have another pattern come up, or if I want to make a pattern myself with snaps, I'll know how to do it. So if you've never done it before, you know, let's just bust it out. You got it. Let's do it. Okay, so for the front panel, we're going to be dealing with the pieces that are called the post and the stud. You notice out of the set, you're going to have 2 pieces that have parts that stick out. The part that sticks out the furthest, that's going to be the post. And the part that sticks out a little bit, that's going to be the stud. So these are the 2 pieces we're dealing with for the front of the bag. All right, so reach under and take your post and stick it through that hole that you've made. And then put your stud on top of it, just like that. Now we're going to put this anvil underneath that. And it's going to fit into the groove a little bit. You're going to feel that. See that groove? It fits into that. Okay, and then we're going to grab the tool that has a flat end. From the side, well, from the side it looks flat, but it concaves in. It's called the concave tool. And we're going to place that right on top of the stud. And then you're going to grab a hammer and you're going to pound lightly with the hammer. Okay, and then you want to move it around, make sure that it doesn't come apart. If it comes apart, then it wasn't installed correctly and you might need to go back and make some adjustments, but this feels good. I can dig it. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now you can grab your back piece. And for the back piece, you're going to grab your cap. One side is flat, the other side, oh, that doesn't go there. One side is flat and the other side comes up just a little bit. And we're going to insert that through the back. And then we're going to take the socket and place it on top of that. And we're going to grab our other tool, which is the convex tool. You can see it comes kind of to a point. You're going to place that right in the circle in the middle. And you're going to strike it with the hammer. Okay. Again, play around with it. Make sure it's not coming apart. And it feels good. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. And now, God willing, this is going to snap into that. Yes! Hallelujah! I did like 10 earlier and they didn't work. So my fingers are crossed. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You can do it. Yes! Won't he do it? Thank you. Okay, so done. Awesome. So excited. I've never used snaps before, man. I feel like a professional. I'm a professional. Yes, yes. I do snaps on my bags. I do. Now I'm going to be putting my my label on the back. Should I put it here or here? Ooh, I don't know. What do you think? I think I'm gonna put it up here, man. That's nice. I'm gonna put it up here. Okay, so I went ahead and put my label on the part of the flap, but if you decide you want to put your label down here, which is a perfect place to do it, just make sure that you lift up and don't punch that hole through your zipper panel underneath this. So get that pocket out of the way before you do whatever you do to attach your label, okay? All right, so guys, if you are wanting to add some foam to give your bag a little bit more structure, this is the time to do it. So I am going to go ahead and cut out 2 pieces to use for my main panels. Okay, I'm just going to center my bag on the foam and clip all the way around, and then I'm going to go and baste it at the machine. You know what? Let's cut down the top of the foam so that it's not going to be in the seam allowance when we do that pretty top stitch at the end. Extra foam. Okay, so now we're going to place our 2 main panels right side together. And then we're going to just go ahead and clamp them together on the sides. And then we're going to sew it at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, once we have our sides sewn together, we're going to measure down about 5/8 of an inch on all 4 corners. Make a snip. Let's see, about right here. And then we're going to take those little pieces that we just cut, and we're going to just open up the bag, press it flat, and then we're going to sew right across the top of that. Just baste that down on all 4 sides. So grab your bottom panel and go ahead and mark the center on all 4 sides. You know, bend it in half. Bend it in half. You get all your marks there. And now we're going to add our purse feet. And I got these marks from the pattern. All right, so we're going to grab that piece and then grab our main panel. Make sure that you have the center marked on your main panel as well. Go ahead and grab your bottom piece, and you want them to be right sides touching each other. And line up those 2 mid pieces and clamp around starting from there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to sew just the straight side. Once we finish that, we're going to come back and we're going to match up the other side starting in the middle and clamp it like we just did, and we're going to sew again just the straight side. And we're going to be sewing this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so now you're going to grab your bottom piece and you're going to line it up to the midpoint of your panel. On both sides. And then the directions say to basically just trim down your side piece. Trim down your bottom piece. See how it has a little bit of extra? But it says to trim that down so that it fits. That's genius. I've never added a bottom like this technique. It makes a lot of sense. YAMATA, you're a genius. Look at that. That just makes so much more sense. Jeez Louise. That's why I love new patterns by different pattern makers, because you can always learn so much. Wow. Y'all, I am shook. I am shook. Baby girl, you just changed the game. You just changed the whole game on them. We wasn't ready. Yeah, that's what's up. So I went ahead and trimmed my seam allowance down to about 1/8 of an inch, and now I am going to turn it out. Okay. Okay. I like that. That is nice. Okay, grab your slip pocket piece and lay it so that it is right side facing up. We're gonna fold it in half. Right sides are touching. And then we're gonna sew along the 3 exposed edges. Make sure that you leave a little piece open to turn it out. All right, let's turn it right side out. Snip those corners if you like. Don't trim it down where you left it open. Take the top piece, it doesn't have the hole, and we're gonna go and top stitch at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I actually think I'm gonna add a piece of black vinyl to the top of my pocket. It's just optional. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna get that attached. Go ahead and mark the center of one of your large lining panels. And then you're gonna measure 2 3/4 inch down. Grab that pocket panel, slip pocket that we just made, and place it right there centered. So 2 3/4 inches down from the top of the panel. Okay, and we're gonna attach this to the lining. I'm gonna go ahead and fold in where I left that opening so that I will catch that as I attach it to the lining. And right now you can also decide what kind of what kind of size pockets you want. You can do it down the middle and just have 2 large pockets. You can do one little piece, so you can have a pin, a slip pocket, and then divide it however you want to do it. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to be using one of my markers that will erase. I'm going to do 3 compartments. And then I'll do one about right here. All right. So now we're going to sew around these 3 sides to attach it, and then whatever lines you decided to do for your slip pocket. Just for fun, let's add a couple of rivets on the outer corner of these pockets. Now we're going to work on the inner zipper pocket. So we're going to grab our pocket pieces, and we're going to be grabbing the bigger one, the bigger piece first. I have about 11.5 inch zipper that I'm using. We're going to place it right side up, and then we're going to do just like we did before. We're going to go ahead and sew this as close as we can to the edge, because we don't want that thread to show, right along the top. Right, now take your other piece of pocket lining and lay it right side up. You're going to grab the piece that we just finished basting, and you're going to place it the right side of the zipper along the top of that new lining piece. So they're both facing right side up. Line up your sides and get it clamped together. All right, and we're gonna go do the same thing, sew it right at the top edge. Let's talk about this lining. First thing, always mark your center points of your lining. Okay, and from there, I measure down 2 3/4 of an inch. And that's where I drew my first line. So my zipper cut, the part that's open is 10 inches because that's the size of my zipper that I'm using. To help from the side, we're looking at about 2 3/4 inch. Yeah, so it's going to be 2 3/4 inch from the side and 3 3/8 inch from the top. And then I marked a 10 inch line, and then I just measured down 3/8 and drew my second line and boxed it up and then cut that out. So that's where our zipper our zipper pocket is going to be going. For my facing, I measured 12 inches long and I did it 2.5 inches tall. And then I just found the center of it. And drew a line on the back. And that is about, first line is 1 inch from the top. And then I measure down 3/8 of an inch for the second line. And from the side, we're looking at 1 inch. So 1 inch from the side and 1 inch from the top is where I started my first line. If you're doing a different size pocket, you know, modify it to, you know, what you're doing. This is the size that I'm using. Okay, so now I'm going to just place this right over that opening. And I'm going to sew all the way around, just like we did the for the front zipper. Basically, we're doing the same thing. So if you want to grab some double-sided tape, we can do that. There we go. All right, and I'm going to sew all the way around. Some double-sided tape along the outside of my zipper. And now I am going to lay this over it and trying to get that zipper, in the middle, obviously. Okay, and right now we're only going to be sewing along the bottom of the zipper. Okay, so now we're going to do like we did earlier. We're just going to turn it around, fold that piece down. You can put a few clamps on it if you'd like. To keep it in place. Okay, and then now we're going to go ahead and stitch around the sides and the top. Okay guys, so you'll note that one of your pockets is going to be a little bit longer than the other. I'm just going to go ahead and fold that up and then clamp it along the sides. And when we close this pocket, we're only going to sew along the sides, not the bottom, because we're going to be doing some turning out through this pocket, okay? It's best to place your panel right side up so that you could just fold it over and then make that, close that up, just to make sure you're not catching anything in the way. Now we're going to grab our other panel and we're going to place them right sides together and go ahead and clamp them. We're going to go ahead and close the sides up, but we're only going to close down 8 inches. Okay, so from the top down 8 inches and stop. So we are sewing these together and we're stopping at 8 inches. And we're going to be sewing this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Go ahead and grab the exterior of your bag and we are going to place it inside of the lining. So the bag is right side out and your exterior is inside out. Make sure that the side of the your interior lining, the part with the zipper, is going to be touching the back of your bag, okay? And then we're just going to, whoopsie, place that over the bag. Okay, I see why she left the bottom open. Just makes it easier. She's so smart. All right, and make sure that your flap is going between your bag exterior and the lining. You don't want it over that way. So stick it in there. Go ahead and match up your side pieces first. And then just clamp around the entire top. All right, and we're going to sew this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and finish closing this seam. Okay, I see why she did that. It makes it a lot easier to get the bag inside. I know we've all been there. We're trying to put the bag inside, inside the lining. And it's a process. This kind of eliminated that issue. Okay, Edmana, I see you, girl. Coming up with solutions. Yes, I can dig it. I love it. Yeah, that was way easier than kind of smushing the bag in and having it fit. Okay. So now we're just going to finish closing this up. Let's pull our lining up and over. Okay. Cool, cool. Okay, we're going to reach through the lining zipper pocket and grab the bottom of our main lining pieces. Pull that all the way through. Go ahead and line it up. Find your mid pieces. Line it up, and you're lining the right side of your bottom lining is touching the right side of your panel lining. Clip your corners if you like. If you have a little extra material in the corners, you can just trim that down. Okay, so we are going to sew this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, but make sure that you leave an opening on one side because we're going to turn it out. She said to leave about 8 inches open. All right, let's get it. So I'm going to trim down my seam allowance a little bit, not where I left it open though. Now we are going to push it back down inside of the bag. How cool is that? That was neat. Okay, so we're going to push it down inside of the bag, and then we are going to clamp along the top of the bag and do our top stitch. You have some spots where the seams seem super, super thick. If you have a roller or a hammer or something, go ahead and get in there and try to smooth those seams out as best you can. So once we have done our top stitch, this is the time that we're going to, whether you did a turn lock or a snap closure, it doesn't matter. This is when you're going to go ahead and put the bottom part of it on, okay? So you're just going to take the flap. You know what? Let's put a few clamps at the top. I'm lining up where this part meets on the front and the back. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold my flap over to find my placement. So I think that's a good spot for it. I'm going to eyeball it and make sure that it looks center. Okay. And once you find the spot that you're happy with, use whatever you put on the top. If you use the turn lock, then you're going to have, an open circle, and just mark right in the middle of that circle. And then you know where to place the bottom piece. I used a snap. So I'm going to push against it to see if I can get an indentation. did. I'm going to use that to make my mark. All right, and then we're going to reach through the opening in the bottom of our bag. To make our slit or a hole, whatever it is that we're doing. Okay. All right. And there we go. Okay, so use your pattern piece to get these little bad boys cut out. You're going to be cutting out 4 of them. On 2 of the 4, you're going to go ahead and use the pattern to poke. You're going to use the pattern to put 2 holes in it. On just 2. And then on 2 of them, you're going to just put 1 hole. Okay? All right, and we're going to install it the same way that we did earlier. We're going to grab a stud. Then we're going to grab the post. And pound lightly. Repeat. And now we're going to take one of the pieces that only has 1 hole, and we're going to lay it wrong sides together. So the piece that has no hole on it should be behind the piece that we just added. Now you can go ahead and grab some double-sided tape if you would like to make sure that it stays. I'm just going to put a couple of clamps on mine. All right, grab that second piece with the part that you inserted on the top, and grab the piece that does not have a hole and that goes behind that. Now we're going to go and sew around the entire thing at about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, I'm going to switch over to this fabric because you can see it a little better. Okay, so right now on one side you have some hardware and on the other side you don't. You're going to flip it to the side that has no hardware showing, and you're going to take your flat piece and insert it through the hole. Flip it over, and now this is the side that has the hardware showing. You're going to add your top piece, and then you're going to follow the instructions like earlier. It's set. There we go. How cool is that? Okay, so now go ahead and trim. If you need to, right now you can go ahead and apply some edge coat. The side of my vinyl is black, so it's not necessary. I'm going to skip that step. But if you need to, or if you want to, go ahead and get your edge coat applied. That's done. You're going to go grab your strap, and from the end of it, you're going to measure a smidget more than 3/4 inch and make a mark. And then you're going to go up 2 3/4 of an inch and make another mark. Then you're going to go and punch a hole on those marks, and do that on all 4 ends of your straps. Okay, grab our bag. I'm so excited. Almost finished. Oh my gosh, y'all, I love this bag. Whew. Yes. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so I want my straps to show black when they're up. So that means I'm going to put them in this way. We'll do this one first. Get out of the way. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and add our strap ends first. So, again, the black is going to be the front of my bag. So, when I install this, the front of this piece needs to be matching the front of the black. So front of the bag is going to have the smooth part. The back is going to have that textured part. I'm just going to place it right on it. I'm going to put a little bit of this metal glue in there. And now we're just going to attach the straps to all of the ends. We've got our end pieces on. Now let's get them connected. Okay, I'm gonna fold this over, match those holes up. Make sure that your the bottom of the strap is straight with the top of the strap. You know what I mean? You don't want to put the rivet in and it's kind of going cockside. Make sure that everything lines up really good. Oh my God, I love this bag. Ah. God, this is so pretty. Edmana, you did it. Yes, I love this pattern. Oh my God. Okay, let's do the back pieces. Make sure that you are not twisting your strap, okay? It stays the same direction on both sides. That would suck. Let's get those locked in. God, this is pretty. We're finished. Baby. Y'all, look at how pretty this bag is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, that's it. I hope that you love your bag as much as I love mine, because it just makes me so happy. But yeah, thank you for watching my tutorial. If you make this bag, please tag me. I would love to see it. My username on Instagram is Love Lola Looks. That's L-U-V, Lola Looks. On Facebook, it's Love Lola. You already are on my YouTube, so I guess you found me here. But yeah, tag me. I love to see it. And I am on TikTok, either under Love Lola or under my name. I think I'm under my name on TikTok. Rayvon Clark. But thank you for checking this out. I really do appreciate it. I really hope you make this bag, because it's such a great bag, man. Like, I just can't stop talking about it. But anyway, see you guys next time. Bye.